Hello and welcome to this episode. It is sure to be educative, entertaining, and exciting. And if you watch through to the end, I have a special gift for you. So please stick around. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel or this is your first time, please do subscribe, for this is how you support the channel, helping us to keep giving you great, educative, creative, and entertaining content. And for today, these are what you will learn. I am sure you are excited already, so let's get it started. Alright, so for most of you who may not know, storyset.com is an amazing site for ready-to-go illustrations. And this storyset.com, it's a site created by Freepik, where you can get free illustrations of any sort that you are looking for. And I think this is a great place to get illustrations to use to create amazing animations that you can learn using Moho Studios. So I had already downloaded one from Storyset, and I will just import it into Moho Studio. It's an SVG file, so I'll go to import and go to SVG file, click it, and this is the SVG file. So I'll click it and I'll hit open, and this tab comes up, and the first thing I'll do is make sure that everything is centered, consolidated vectors, and I'll combine adjacent vectors into one, group layers on group which have only one child vector layer, etc. And I'll hit OK. So you could see it's coming out right now, really amazing, as if it's drawing it out. Boom, this is what we have. You can see it's an amazing illustration of a mother and the kids. But if you notice something here, if we go into the file, everything is properly separated. So everything is in a different file. So I'll just delete these two last files because we don't really need them. Ctrl Z. So this is the background file. So what we'll do right now is separate all the body parts properly, and this is really helpful because we have all the files in vector. What that means is that we can play around them and remanipulate them properly, not like when they are images and we really can't work with them. But I think the major work here is going in there and separating all the body parts, because some of the parts might not be properly aligned in each folder. So we have to remove them, put them in a new folder, or sometimes maybe even redraw. So this is the first time I'm doing this, so stick with me as we find out. So what I'll do here to make this easy for me, I'll pick my layer selection tool here. It's called the layer selector, and I'll click on the part I want to start with. So I want to start with the legs so that it takes me straight to the layer I want to work with. So if we look at this right now, we see that we have the leg in front, this one right here. So what we want to do right here is click on that layer, make sure that all part of it is highlighted, hold shift to click on any other part you need, and you cut that out. All right. So we'll take that out and we'll have to put it in a new layer. Now, the problem is most of these layers already have something in them. So what we want to do is we'll create a new layer and we'll call that leg. So we'll create a new vector layer and we'll call it leg. Front, I guess. And T. I think that's the back leg that we just removed. But we'll get to find out anyway. So I'll put it in here. So now we brought it back in there. So you could see we have the front leg. I think this leg should be at the back, right? It's actually at the back if we put it like this. So now we'll go and pick the other leg, which is the front leg. So we'll call this one back leg. Leg back. So we'll pick our layer selector again and we'll come here. So you can see now this leg is aligned with the whole body sort of. So we just have to select it separately. And if you look into this, you can see we have so many other points attached to this leg, which we will have to remove. But first of all, let's highlight the leg first. So you can see the points that are highlighted are the main points of the leg itself, isn't it? So I'll control X to remove that. This part, I guess it should have probably been, it will probably be a shadow of some sort, but we don't really need it for this. So we'll create another new layer. The reason why we're creating new layers is so that we don't get ourselves too confused, because other layers have different things in them, right? So we'll call this leg front. Aha. Let's just bring that one here and Control V to paste it in the leg front. So we have our leg back and we have our leg front, right? So now let's go to the foot quickly, and we'll pick our selection tool here and select the foot. So we have our foot here, and we'll Control X. We'll highlight it first. Pick it out. Now, if you notice, we have the foot, the other part of the foot still lingering. We'll come to that. So we want to put the foot, this is for the foot for the leg back, isn't it? So I want them to be in the same layer, no problem. And I just pasted it on the leg back. Then I'll probably turn it off so that I can see properly, so that I can pick the, what you call it, the bottom foot and top foot, etc. Or that is of the shoe, so I can pick the other part of the shoe, rather. So this is the other layer of the shoe, which is this. So all I have to do is just highlight all of it, cut it out, then I'll go to the foot, the back foot again, then I'll paste it there. Then if you notice, this white line, this white dot is still there. The reason you're using your layer select tool is easier to just reach out to the layer itself, so that you don't go about searching for which layer is which and you struggle a lot. All right, so now we have for the back leg complete layer in it. Then now we go to our front leg and we'll pick this one out here for the foot, which is this one. We will highlight it, Control X, and we'll go to front foot and we'll put it in there. And we'll pick our layer select tool and select this. So you could see now this rope here did not follow as the other one did, right? So paste, so pick the rope also, right? And the rope and the shadow. Control A to highlight all of it, right? And Control X. Hold your select tool, Control X to cut it and go to the front leg, Control V, right? So you could see that shadow had followed it here, but we'll come to that. And we'll go back here and pick the white. So the shoe will be complete. Control A for all of it. And make sure your tool is on the select tool and Control X to pick it. Then we'll go to the front leg and we'll paste it there. So we have our leg now well separated. Now we have to go to the hand, right? Now, okay, I think I made a mistake, because for the leg, I had Control A to cut all of it, and we have the hand following it. So, okay, from the leg now, we'll have to cut out the hand. The hand was supposed to be left with the leg initially. So what we'll do here is we'll take the hand out of this place. So I'm holding Shift to select all these other points, right? So if you notice, the hand also have some little shadows in between, right? So you select all those parts, right? And select this also. Don't worry, we'll just keep separating them as we go forward. You Control X that, then we go to a layer that has totally nothing, and we paste that in there, because that is what we want. And now we want to separate this arm from this one, right? So we'll just select this one, we'll cut it out, and look for another layer that has nothing. Okay, I did not remove this one from here, so I'll paste the hand here and take this one back to where it's supposed to be. So I'm pasting the hand here and I'm removing this, Ctrl X, and I'm taking it to the leg back, Ctrl V. All right, a little bit confusing if you don't pay full attention to what you are doing, right? So I'll go back here and I'll call this front arm. Then for this one, I'll call it back hand. Labeling is very important so that you know exactly what you have and what you are doing. This is the only way to succeed with something like this. And you could imagine we still have the kids to separate, but let's separate the mother first. So they will now use the same method to separate the kids, right? And we'll go for the body now, this which is the torso. But let's see if we can separate this hand and this hand and put them where they really belong. So we'll go to the torso now and hit it. So you could see what we have here is a little bit complicated, just a little bit. Let's remove this shade on the arm and take it to where it actually belongs. So I'll hold Control and left click and drag around this point, and I'll cut it because that point is supposed to be on the hand, so it to be on the front hand. So we'll bind the points to the bones when we rigging, right? And so when you have a character like this, depending on what you want to rig, depending on how you want to rig it, it will depend on how you will separate the body part, because so you don't waste so much time separating body parts that you may not use for the animation. So pre-planning your animation is really important. So since we have that, we'll call this body part here, my layer selector, we'll call this torso, which is the or body, but in the animation world it's called torso. All right, so we have the torso, and now we will go to the head, right? So we use our layer selector and pick this. So we have the front hair and the face all merged together. Well, I think for now it's okay. So the question we want to ask ourselves is, would we like to animate the mouth, animate the eyes, etc.? These are things you could actually do on the face, or you could do it also separately. But you know, when it comes to animation, we also like to separate everything in case we want to do some certain things. And since we have this, we could leave it here, or we could separate it and put it in a different layer, so it will be something we could work with separately. So we could just do this, hold Control, so that we'll have more control on what we're creating, right? So I'll just hold Control and highlight this part. And I'll hit Ctrl X. I'll go to a new layer. I should have nothing. So if I don't have that, I'll just create a new layer, drag it to the top, and call this face, right? Then I'll hit Ctrl V to paste my face there. The face consists of the eyes, nose, and the mouth. Then I would call this head, H-E-A-D, because here we have this and this. But if you notice, we also have this bag with the head. So, and we don't want that. So we would remove the bag. So I'll highlight this. Make sure everything is properly highlighted. And this, and this, and this. So if we have everything like that, I'll Control X to remove the bag. So when we're creating our animation, we could either put the bag on or remove the bag on, or also have the bag be animated also. So I'll put this in a different layer called bag. And I'll hit Ctrl V And we have that. So the bag is usually, should be close to the torso per se. So now the major reason we are separating everything is not like I can't, rig the character with everything on its, with the parts all jointed like that. But if we have them all properly separated, we have more control for our animation, right? So, and if you notice, we'll check parts like this out where we have these shades. These parts now are supposed to be on the torso and not on a different layer. So I'll hold this and cut it out and drop it on the torso in itself. So like I said, I think this should be on the torso layer, but as it is, it seems, I thought it was somewhere here. So let me Control Z that. So this is the shade that is separating the hand from the body. So let me fix this first. I don't think we'll be needing that. Control X. So now this shade will have to be on this arm, on the torso, if we had, separated it, because it's behind, right? And this will be on the front of the torso. So this will be on the torso exactly. So yes, this part now, if we bring it here, I'm only calculating, since this arm is different like this. So what I will do, right, is separate this arm from the torso, so that I'll be able to, create an amazing animation if I want to work on it. So what I'll do is I'll cut it out and go to a different layer. I don't think we have anything on this layer, and put it here, and I'll call this layer back shoulder, just for that sake. Then I'll pick the shadow and drop it on it. All right, so Control X, and I'll put it on the back shoulder and Control V. So we have that, right? And also this back shoulder arm is supposed to be with this arm here. So maybe what I will do is I'll cut everything out like that and put it on the back arm. Yes. So this is what we have. So we have them on the same layer, so I could rig them directly. We could still rig it differently. It's the same thing, but I don't know. I like to have them both on the same layer and play around with them. So whichever way you want, depending on how you rig your characters, it still works. But I always like to have all the arm on one layer, yada, yada, yada. And for this one, now, if you notice, we have the design on the body. And this design could also be an issue while we are animating. So what I will do is, since this is on the torso and we have this leaking out design on the other arm, I have to cut this out and put it on the arm itself. Yes. So we have it here on the arm, right? So it appears like, on it, but it's going to appear behind now. It's not going to be on top, since it's going to turn out to be an animation per se. So now for this arm, can we separate it from the torso? Yes, we can. All we just have to do is cut it out. But though what we have here is a bit different. So we have this arm. It's even separated. I didn't take note of it. Oh, it's well done, right? So if I should rotate this, it's good. It's something we can work with. So I will just hold this and I'll pick the design also, holding shift to highlight that, and I'll cut all of it out. Maybe plus this, I'm not sure. Then I will go to the front arm here, which is this one, and hit Ctrl V. So I put it on there, right? So I have the front arm well separated. We have the back arm well separated. But if you notice, the front arm is behind, so we'll have to drag the front arm in front of the torso, probably also in front of the back, and so we have it correct. And the back arm, yes, is behind the torso, so that is correct also. Yes. And I think what is left for the mommy character, the face is separated. Then we have this back hair, and we have the back hair which is on the front leg. So all we have to do is just, hold control, cut everything about the back hair. If you notice, there's still another hair. I guess this is the front hair, but we'll come to that real quickly. And we'll put it in a fresh new layer, call that layer back hair. And we'll paste it there. Voila. And this line, let's find out where it leads to. So I'll click it. Okay, it's the head, the front hair, which is, with the head. We can also separate this also from the head totally. So we have the front hair, we have the back hair, so we can, do some crazy animation. It just depends on what you want, but let's separate everything and make sure everything is properly separated, right? So I cut that, and let's see this 10. Do we have anything here? Okay, good. We don't have anything here, so I'll call this front hair. So front hair would be in front of the face, and the back hair would be, like the last layer, totally behind the body, etc. Probably behind the leg and stuff like that. So I think, yeah, we are done with the character. And so if we go to the face right now, usually on a character like this, we would normally make sure the mouth is separated from the face. But since we are just going to be doing simple animation, so the mouth will just move left, right, close, open, same thing with the eyes. We could use our bones to, just make that happen. So as we go along, we'll find out if it's possible or if it's not. And yeah, so this is the mommy character. I will call this mom, and we'll delete every other unwanted character. So what I like to do is that I'll go into it, turn off all these ones that I think are not necessary. So I just go ahead and select all of them at the same time and delete it. So while I'm turning it off, I'm looking at what is usually disappearing. If nothing is disappearing, I know there's nothing on the layer. So I hold control and highlight those layers that I have turned off and just hit delete. And now we have our full character separated, and we have our mom character here. Now you are ready to start creating your animation. You can go ahead and bone your character. And so in the next video, I'll do that and show you how I do it. And I'll go ahead and separate all the characters, that is the two kids, and we'll create an amazing animation, and you see how it works. All right.
Here is your gift. Do check out the link in the description below to get it. Most importantly, subscribe and support the channel, and make sure you watch the next video to learn something new, and I will see you there.